guys, my name is Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I thought it'd be fun to go through the 25 books that I'm going to be unhauling off of my shelves. Some of these books are simply I have no calling to read them, or I've read them and they weren't my favorite and I'm running out of space. If you watched any of my videos prior, I have a redoing my bookshelf one where I reorganized my shelves and I am running out of room on my romance and my dark romance sections. So we need to create more room, and that's simply what we're doing here. So if you're interested on seeing the books that I will be getting rid of, stick around. I will have a link in the description below to my Pango where all these books will be listed. So if you want to purchase any of them, you're more than welcome to. But let's get into today's video. The series, these are both listed individually, but that is Bewitched and Bespelled. I bought these books because a person I was mutual with on TikTok, who I no longer am, raved about these books, and at the time that she was raving about these, I was kind of going through a little fantasy romantic-y episode where I just wanted to read that, and that was long past me. I've owned these for a little over a year. I've never once reached for them unless it was to physically move them to a different section. I've never opened these books. I don't know what any of it is about. These are out of print covers, if I'm not mistaken. She just redid the covers. But yeah, like I said, no idea what any of these are about. I knew you would come, my queen. Neither magic nor time can keep us apart. His eyes are luminous. We are like the stars, eternal. Cute, I guess, for someone else. So, I don't know. They're really pretty. I don't think I've ever read a Lauren Thalassa book, which, no hate to her. Like I said, I go through these little spells where I strictly will read one genre for a very long time, and she just wasn't lucky enough to get read during that time. So instead of just harboring and holding on to these, I think someone else will love them a lot more than me, so that's why we are getting rid of Bewitched and Bespelled. These three books are special editions. I don't know if you call them special edition because they're kind of everywhere and like they weren't exclusive to anything. But I read 2 out of the 3 of these books, and I heard so many mixed reviews about the third book to where I was like, oh, I actually don't think I need to read I don't think I need to read that or continue with it. I don't recall what I rated the first 2 books of the series, so let me pull that up. And I am talking about the Knock 'Em Out series. These are the Bloom special edition, so they're hardback, foiled. Never read Things We Left Behind. Salome and Lucien, I believe, are the main characters of this. I was never really called to their story. I didn't really care. I got it because I wanted to complete the set, but I don't care for these books to have them on my shelves anymore. Now with that being said, and why I said, oh, literally a second ago, I rated Things We Got Over 5 stars. But here's what I think I rated a 5 stars. I was reading this book the same time I was reading Archer's Voice, and I think I talked about this previously, where in my brain, these both took place in the same town. Couldn't explain why, but like I get like crossover things confused about them all the time, even though they're not related in the slightest. But when I recommend people like romance books, this is never something that comes out of my mouth. And that's also for Things We Hide from the Light. I think I rated this a 4.75. I rated this a 4 and this a 5. But like this series is never something that immediately jumps out of my mouth when I recommend it to people. And like I said, I'm running out of space. I want books that I love and I want to cherish for the rest of my life. And unfortunately, Lucy Score in this series isn't a big one for me. She's a great writer, but I think I outgrew it. I think that we can safely say like I outgrew it. Like I outgrow a lot of books. Like I'll be the first to admit, when I first started getting back into reading, I had a big Colleen Hoover phase. I don't have that anymore. I grew out of it. I also grew out of Lucy Score in the Knock 'Em Out series, which is fine. I think I have these all 3 listed for $30. Could be wrong though. I don't know. But just outgrowing and making space for things that matters. That's why I'm getting rid of these. Next book was gifted to me by some of my friends, but I believe this also falls under that fantasy realm, and I've never heard about this author. Like I said, I'm running out of room on things, and I'm all for discovering new authors, and I think that'd be so fun and funky fresh, but I want to do it with genres and books that I think I'd enjoy. So I'm also getting rid of Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman. Like I said, I can't tell you anything. Have you seen this girl? Answer to the names of Doran. Bites and kicks, runs away. Tell us if you saw her. We want her back. Reward paid. It's crickets. Crickets. Someone else will love her. Him, them, they. So, next is also a book I have read before. So I will let you guys know like what I read and what I haven't. So I have My Dark Romeo by L.J. Shen and Parker S. Huntington. I rated this a 4 stars early last year. I enjoyed it. It was good. I didn't write a review on it, so I don't know. But like I said, it wasn't my favorite. It's not something I'm called to. I think I maybe recommended this for the last year after I read it. Not saying there's anything bad with this author. I have more L.G. Shen books on my case. Like, I like her as an author, but there's nothing notable that sticks out to me in this one, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I love this cover. I love everything about it. But like I said, I have a lot of beautiful covers on my bookshelf, so something has to give. So My Dark Romeo is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, kind of. I also read My Dark Prince, which is like, it's its own like little trio, I think, but it was good. I think it's enemies to lovers vibe, and it has these beautiful like black title pages, but I can't just hold on to things because they're pretty, so she has to go. The next book I'm getting rid of is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is just the standard print version. I am only getting rid of this because I have the deluxe version, like the cloth bound version. I don't need both of these at all. I love Peter Pan. I will say this till my face turns blue. I loved this retelling. It was so good. I just don't need 2 copies. Don't you dare look behind me at the Boys of Tomlin. Just one of my Boys of Tomlin shelves. Those I do need more than 1 copy of. But I just prefer the deluxe version to this. I think that looks so much better on my shelves than this one. And if I had the remainder of the series in the standard print, I probably would keep this, but this is the only book from the Never After series that I have. So I don't want to say my trash is another man's treasure, because this book is not trash. I loved it so freaking much. I just have a prettier version, so that's why she's heading on out. I won at a party, and it is Our Crooked Hearts. I think this is a young adult book. My little sister read it and loved it, but I just, like I said, I don't really have time to dive. Oh, the layout of this. The font is like massive to me. I just don't know. I don't know anything about it. Never heard of it. It could probably be really, really good, but for me, it's just not something I could do right now. I don't care. And that's so mean to say, but I just really don't care. So, womp womp. 2 out of the 3 of a trilogy, and that is the Lioness trilogy. I read Salt Kiss. I ate it up. I loved it. It was really good, but for me, it could have ended where it ended. Like, I didn't need this book, which I haven't read. Haven't. This man falls in love with a sex club owner's wife that he has to go travel to get, and it's really good, and they have fun on the boat back to where she needs to live, and it ends with them getting off the boat and the boss saying, I think it's cute that you don't think I didn't have cameras on this boat. So he saw pretty much everything that he did with his wife. So it was really good. I enjoyed it, but I think there are better novels within like the sex club realm for me personally, to where I wouldn't recommend this as heavily. And that might have changed if I ever read Honeycut and then whatever the third book of this series is, but I just haven't, and I don't feel called to read it. So for that reason, they're going bye-bye. This one should come as no surprise to anybody, because I've talked about my frustration with this author a plethora of times, and I've talked about getting rid of this book a plethora of times, if not more than 6 times on this channel. And that is Deep and Deep. And that is Deep In by Hazelwood. She really lucked out when I read Bride for the first time, because that book just said, hell no, babe, never again. So somebody would love this. It's a really beautiful edition, has like the water drops, the sprayed edges. It's beautiful. It's brand new. I haven't even like broken this spine to like see the cover, like the image on the inside. Couldn't tell you anything about this book. And I think there are a lot of Hazelwood lovers out there that would enjoy to have her books on her shelf more than I would. And unfortunately, I hate that I'm not one of those people, but it is what it is. I don't know. Just get it off my shelf. The next two are also something I struggle with when I read, and that is just the premise of a slow burn book. I like tension, I like yearning, I love all of that, but slow burn to me is different. I cannot read 60% of this book and y'all just kissed. Absolutely not. My brain does not have that capacity. So the next 2 books I'm getting rid of are by the same author, and that is All Roads Leave Here and The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I don't know what they're about, but I know that Mariana Zapata is the queen of slow burn. And there was a point in my life where I really wanted to read a Mariana Zapata book. And like everything else, that time has left my life. I'm into fast pace. I'm reading more darker-esque things now. So I think there's somebody out there who would enjoy these a lot more than I will, which is fine. You know, I'm not going to yuck somebody else's yum, but I don't know. This is age gap, and I think this is sports. So this is a football book, age gap. Sorry. If you love Mariana Zapata, I'm sorry. If you love any of these authors that I'm like, I just can't love them, I'm sorry. But that just means there's more for you to love, because I don't. We're on a roll with authors I don't like. Not that I didn't like Mariana Zapata. Okay, Abby, chill out. I'm not an Emily Henry girl. I think I have this on sale for like $3. So buy it if you want it. Book I feel like was so popular 2 years ago, and I feel like if I read it now, even though it's not that long of a story, like it's just like the hype is over with it, and I won't really add anything to it. Like, knowing that I'm reading it, like I'm not gonna add anything to its life. It is The Ministry of Time. I have no idea what this book's about. Destiny read it, I think Haley read it, I think Sarah read it, and my sister read it and loved it. I don't know. And I found this book of the month edition at a library sale, and this book was like $7. And I don't know. Boy meets girl, the past meets the future, a finger meets a trigger, the beginning meets the end. I feel like the time has passed for me to read this, especially as somebody who's trying to grow an online presence. I don't feel like me reading this book is going to make it come back into circulation that will make more people want to read this book. The time for me to read it is long gone. Now these next 2 you cannot cancel me for, because when I explain it, it's going to make perfect sense, okay? It'll make sense. And that is the original covers of the Cat and Mouse duet. These are the out of print covers. They are the more duller ones. The newer ones have more pops of red on them, and I'm simply getting rid of them because I have the newer editions. Her shelf's a little full. I think I own every book she has published. Yes, so I have Hunting, Satan's Haunting, or Haunting, Satan's Affair, Hunting, Phantom, Shallow River, Does It Hurt, and Where's Molly. So her shelf is shared with Penelope Douglas, so it's kind of getting cramped. If you watched that reorganizing my bookshelf video, I'll link it up here. She's getting a little cramped, so somebody else will love these. I've never read them. I bought them on Amazon and I audioed the books, but I love the series. H.G. Carlton, she was my girl that got me into Dark Romance. This was the first Dark Romance series I've ever read, and I, to this day, recommend these books to people all the time. And I fucking love it. So, just making room where I can. So, that's why these are on the list. We just talked about you. It's another Lauren Thalassa book. This is Pestilence, which is the first book in the Four Horsemen series. I picked this up because the concept of like a dark romantasy doing with the Four Horsemen was really intriguing to me. But that time is come and gone in my life. Like Bewitched. I was hesitant to get rid of this because I'm starting to get into like a darker romantasy vibes again. Like I'm currently in the middle of reading the Plated Prisoner series. I'm starting the Zodiac, which like isn't dark romantasy, but we'll add it in there. But I just also don't think, with all the books I still have that have not been read on my shelves, that I have time for a series, which I've stated before, and that's totally fine. This is also a brand new book, and I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. I really need to make a mental note to stop doing that. If I don't have the call to read it right then and there, I shouldn't buy it. But that probably will never happen. So, just another book for someone else to love that's not me. And that's fine. When Pestilence, the first of the Horsemen, comes for Sarah Burns' town, one thing is certain. Everyone she knows and loves is marked for death, unless, of course, the angelic-looking horseman is stopped. See what Sarah has in mind when she shoots for the unholy beast of his steed. Oh, shoots the unholy beast off his steed. Too bad no one told her that Pestilence can't be killed. And then it says some more things. But if you want to read this book, go into the description and buy it so you can read it for yourself. It's gonna get me canceled. Maybe not canceled, but I feel like it does have a cult following. And it's not because I didn't love this book. I think I rated this book pretty high this year. I guess it was last year? Is that right? Oh yeah, okay, it was last year. That's Lights Out. I rated this at 3 stars because to me, this book was too long. Like it could have ended so much sooner than it did. Like there's a good chunk of this book where I was like, you could have X-nayed. But I love Masked Men. I liked that she brought in like a TikTok vibe to it where she watches this man on TikTok and he finds out and, you know, does what a masked man in IT would do. It was good. I enjoy it. But because of how long it was and how like off-put I was by how long it was, I don't want to read the rest of the series. I don't feel called to read the rest of the series. And that's okay. No one needs to yell at me for it. But somebody else would probably love this a lot more that's trying to get into that kind of vibe of a book. And what better way than to buy it off of somebody for a cheaper price in a bookstore. Let's just speed round these. I got this when Barnes was having a buy one get one 50% off book. And the other book I bought was The Feeling of Falling in Love. These are both in the young adult section. Why did I buy these? I bought this one because it was on my, like, I had a picture of it for a very long time on my Kindle, and I was like, I want to read it. I want to read it so bad. It's like a young adult mystery thriller. Maybe. I don't know. But both of these books has come and gone in my life where I'm like, oh, I could definitely read these. So I had them listed for sale. And if it doesn't sell, then I might just end up giving it to my little sister. But I love the cover of this. That's what initially brought me in. And this one's just funny because that's exactly how it fucking feels to fall in love. So, a dumpster fire. But yeah, sorry there's not more information I can give you here. I need to preface, this is one of my favorite books. One of my favorite romance, sad books. Is she in my background? She is. She's right over here. When I found this book, I wanted I'm still torn. I think I'm going to give it like a week of this being listed a little bit longer, and if it doesn't sell, then I'm keeping it, because this is the UK version of Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I love this book so much. Any book that's sad really does me in. I love any book that's sad. To be honest, if it has an ounce of something that'll make me cry, I'm a ride or die for it. So my romance section's full, as we can tell. So I was like, is it necessary for me to have, you know, the UK edition of this book? Not 100%, but I feel like it's like a cool cover that, you know, a lot of people didn't get to see. So maybe there is somebody out there who has the other UK editions that would like love this one. I don't think I've gotten any traction on this one yet, and it sucks. So it's listed for now, and if it doesn't sell by the end of October, I'm keeping it. I will sacrifice something else, but it is such a sad story. Childhood friends to lovers to enemies to, I don't know, a whole lot of tropes, but it's so freaking good, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I need to reread all my sad books. Is that a video idea y'all want to see? Y'all want to see me cry on the internet? Because I will. Maybe weird because I did just like go on a tangent on how much I love Peter Pan. Neverwhere by Jessa Hastings. When she decided to come out with a Peter Pan retelling, I didn't know it was going to be a series, like a 4-book series. And I absolutely adore Jessa Hastings' writing. I love it. I think it's beautiful. Like, there hasn't been a book of hers that I haven't read yet, besides this and Time of Your Life. I haven't picked that up, where I haven't read it and been like, wow, that was so good. Like, there's quotes I think about daily about these books. Like I said, I don't know if I have time for another series. I'm in the middle of a lot of giant series where I can't justify anything like this. And it's sad because I wanted to love this, but I also don't see or hear anything about this book at all. And to me, as a Daisy Hates lover, this series is in the way of me getting Daisy Hates 3. So I may just hate it for that reason and that reason alone. But you can love it, and that's fine. Last books, you could say, are part of the series. I also had this series saved on my Amazon wish list for a very long time, and I've had some friends read it and they said it was probably like the worst things they've ever read. And as I previously stated, I'm in a weird fantasy era where I can read it and it'll be fine, but I could spend my time reading something I'd enjoy more, and that is, I don't even know what it's called, the Nightfall series, and that is The Stars Are Dying and The Night Is Defying. These are both beautiful editions with sprayed edges all the way around. My friends read this one and they said they would never pick up this book because of how poorly written this one was, and that's all I needed to hear at this point in my life, because I have so many books I need to read that I'm like, you know what, why would I put myself through the stress of reading books I don't want to read or haven't heard good things about? So that's all I really have. I don't really. These last two I will hear absolutely no slander on. There will be zero slander, and when I tell you the reason I'm getting rid of this, you're like, okay, yeah girl, that makes sense. I didn't want to get rid of this, but I know me and I know what needs to happen. So if you see this beautiful shelf, this is my special Boys of Tommen series shelf. This is also on my last video of my book redecorating. If you see that shelf, this is my standard US ombre editions, a bookbind, a rebind that somebody gifted me, and the UK editions. We're getting new US standard editions because they were wrongly classified in the US as a young adult book with the ombre edges, and Chloe doesn't want that. She said, these are not for young adults. We do not need these to be for young adults, so they had to rebrand. So the day you're watching this, the new covers are out, and I'm the proud owner of 2 new covers of the Boys of Dominant series, and that's fine. But to make room for it, I had to sacrifice my indies. So I have Binding 13 and Redeeming 6, which is unfortunate because I did have Keeping 13 that already sold, but I was never able to find Saving 6, and if I had Saving 6, I honestly would have kept these for the rest of my life. But the resale value on these is absolutely astonishing and disgusting. Like, some people will sell these for like $100 something a pop, and I think what I'm selling them for is actually kind of reasonable personally. But these are just there simply to make room, because eventually I hope Larry's going to continue her covers, and then in between them I have the Barnes & Noble's exclusive editions, which are kind of the same length of the indie prints. So I just needed to make more space, and unfortunately I've never read these. I wanted to eventually like read all the indies to kind of see what was edited out, but I'm hoping with the republishing we get a lot more of what was included in here in the new versions, or at least that's what I'm hopeful for. So these have to go, and I hate it so much. I wish I had enough room to keep like every single book I've ever owned for the rest of my life, but I don't, and that's so unfortunate for me. Alright, you guys, that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble about books for however long this video is. If any of these books sound interesting to you, or if you just are shopping around for new books to put on your bookshelf, I will have the link to my Pingo books in the description. You're more than free to take a look around and see if anything tickles your fancy. But I think that's it for me today, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.